Well, hello, and welcome back to that thing we like to call Curlis Mania, where we talk all things pop, rock, and prog. And sticking with the prog tonight because quickly following on the heels of the last video, which I did Genesis Archive Volume 2, and had all sorts of problems with it, all sorts of issues with it. Although there's some great stuff on it, as I said, go check out the video if you want to see more. But I had some problems with it. I don't have any problems with Genesis Archive Volume 1, which covers the years 1967 through 1975. So 9 years. So it's quite a big stretch of time that this covers. But it does a good job. It does a good job, and it goes in reverse chronological order. So the other one was, I had a problem with because it just jumped all over the place and made no sense. This one makes more sense because it goes backwards. So it starts in January 24th, 1975, and goes back all the way to 1967, where they're making demos for Genesis to Revelation. So so it's really cool. It's fascinating. If you're a fan, like this is essential. I mean, if you're a Genesis fan, you have to have this because it has some things. It collects a lot of things. It collects some singles that you otherwise wouldn't have had or B-sides. It collects live material that's not available at other places. Um, so and then it's got like some fascinating demos. So it's a really good collection. First of all, the last one I was like, okay, it looks like it's 4 discs and it's only three. This one is indeed four. You have disc 1 and 2, and then disc 3 and 4. Although I can't find my disc 3 for some reason, it's like buried somewhere, and I cannot find. I looked like crazy for it, couldn't find it, which it's actually distressing to me. But anyway, so yeah, so it's 4 discs. So you get value for money, and also it's a great booklet. I love the booklet. I love the artwork. I mean, just the artwork. I love that picture. I think that's from the Foxtrot era. I think is when he first shaved his head. Peter, that is. Um, and it's got like a lot of collage pictures, like everywhere. Like if you look in the inside, there's like like collage of photos. And then that's them standing on a rock in Central Park, the first visit to New York City. And then there's the ticket for the Lamb show that's on this collection from the Shrine Auditorium in 1975. So let's get to it. That's where it starts out. It starts out, disc 1 and 2 are a full concert of the Lamb Lies Down on Broadway tour, which at the time was just like the holy grail for Genesis fans, right? I mean, before that, all I had was this. I had this bootleg called Odd Man Out, the 75 British tour, and it's not the complete show. It's not the complete show, but it's got a lot of it. And honestly, it's funny. I was listening to this again recently just to do a little research on it, and this is actually a really good sounding bootleg. Like this is like it's really not bad. It's pretty cool, and you really get the genuine show, which I'll talk about in a minute. This is like the genuine article where you hear it. There's no overdubbing. There's no nothing. This is just the actual show that they did. So it's kind of cool. This is good. Like I was kind of glad that I have this. But this when this showed up, it's like, I mean, this version of the Lamb is excellent, amazing sound. It sounds awesome. They definitely did some cleaning up. I mean, that's the thing I was going to talk about. Okay, so Peter Gabriel did a lot of vocal overdubbing on this, and you can sort of on occasion they did a great job with it, but you can sort of tell on occasion that he sounds a little bit older. Like he's, I don't know how to describe it. Like you can kind of tell that it's not the 75 Peter Gabriel, but it really doesn't matter. The listening experience is very, very good, and it really doesn't. You can it's hard unless you like really listen with like eagle ears. You can't really tell, and he still sounds great. Even when he did the overdubbing, he still sounded great. So it's fine. It's like more than fine. It sounds great. Apparently, Steve Hackett did some overdubbing as well. He did some guitar stuff as well, but I don't think anyone else did anything. So Phil Collins didn't do anything, and I'm telling you, the drumming on this concert is like, oh, I mean, it's like, I think Phil said at one time, like, he might have been at his height during the Lamb tour, And I think this recording sort of confirms that. I mean, he's just killing it the whole concert. He is just relentless. And man, God, he was a great drummer back in the day. Man, he was awesome. I mean, he was a great drummer his whole career until he couldn't play anymore. But man, there's like this. There's one point where it's I think it's in the cage. In the cage is on this is just so good. And there's one point where he does like a bunch of triplets like and you're like, oh my God, it's so powerful, it's so cool. It's like, oh my God, he is just killing it. So anyway, I mean, he was a huge addition to Genesis when he joined. I mean, he was just such a great drummer that he brought them to a different level. So did Steve Hackett. I mean, when Hackett and Collins joined this band, it put them like it just took them up a whole step without a doubt. And this concert kind of shows what a great live band they had become by 1975. They had been working hard at playing. They'd been playing live, a good 5 years by this point, and by 75 they really had it down. And I mean, again, it's another historic show because it was the last tour with Peter. I mean, it was Peter Gabriel halfway through the tour famously said, I can't do this anymore. Making the making of the Lamb was very turbulent, and they had a lot of disagreements and fights. And Peter had had a baby, and it was like there were some problems with the birth, and he had to commute to go from home to the rehearsal studio or the recording studio, and the other guys were just not, they weren't in that stage of life yet, so they just didn't understand, and they didn't understand how important these things were, and they were like, come on, man, what are you doing, why are you're not showing up, you're late. They were giving him crap, and he was like, oh my God, if you guys don't understand, this is more important than making an album or whatever. So, but I don't have to hold this up the whole time, do I? I have to bring this out though in a second. I have to look some things up. So I'm going to take out the booklet. But yeah, so I'm getting off track. But the making of the Lamb was very turbulent, I think by the end of making that album, he was already kind of halfway out. He had one foot out by that point. He was like, I don't think I can do this. So he committed to the tour, and then finally, about halfway through the tour, he just said, I can't do this anymore. That's it. After this tour, I'm out of here. So that was very obviously a huge bomb that hit the band. Like, oh my God, what are we going to do now? But he did finish the tour. He's a sheer professional. He's like, I'm not gonna leave you high and dry. I will finish the tour. And so like halfway through the tour, they knew that he was leaving, which has got to be pretty weird. To have to finish the shows knowing he's gonna be like gone. But anyway, that being said, the LA show is still very, very, very good. I mean, I'm not going to go through track by track. It's an excellent show. I think that the tape ran out. I think it might be a different version. Like, I think the tape ran out halfway through it or something like that. And I don't know what they did, but they did something different with it. I can't remember how they fixed it, or they took like another version from another show or something. I don't know. But anyway, and they didn't get the encore, which they would do encores at the end of the Lamb, where they would, they would do like Musical Box or The Knife or Fox, something from Fox, Get 'Em Out by Friday, something older that people knew that kind of wanted, because they were playing this brand new, like they were playing this with the album wasn't even out yet or had just been out, so like nobody really knew the album that well, so they would play something familiar at the end, so they didn't get the encore either, but doesn't matter. Still an amazing show, 5 out of 5. I just love this. I go back to this all the time. I listen to the Lamb live on this all the time. That's how good it is. So right out of the box, the first 2 discs are like perfect, 5 out of 5. Like love it that it's a full show, awesome, and it's the Lamb tour. What else can you ask for? So that's the first 2 discs. Disc 3 continues the greatness because it's a bunch of shows from the Rainbow in 1973, Dancing with the Moonlit Night, Firth of Fifth, More Fool Me, which Phil sings, Supper's Ready, and then I Know What I Like. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 songs from 1973 at the Rainbow. And they're excellent. They're really, really, really good. Like great live versions. They sound amazing. The band's playing great. No problem with any of these live tracks. These are great. And the fact that they're all in a row, it just kind of gives you like a little good slice of that show. And honestly, it's kind of weird. It almost feels like, man, here's another thing. Like as a fan, you're like, okay, this is great. Like I love Genesis Live. This is really good. But man, wouldn't it be cool if this was a double album? Like if they had just like tacked on these songs from here, from the Rainbow from '73, on onto here, and made it a double live album from the Peter Gabriel era. I mean, I guess you can do that now. You could just create your own, right? I mean, and I could do that. But it would be cool to have like it was almost like maybe they should still do that. Like it's okay, you still have time. Just like make this a double album. Like put it out as a double album and put these songs on it. And I think all Genesis fans would buy it. Like even if it's like a reissue of stuff that's already out there, but I would still buy it. Pull some cool artwork, put some photos from the live. Not just this one. Like this is a great photo, but like more like this, like just photos from the show, and I would buy it. I would buy it, even though it's already stuff that's out there. Because it's all so good. This is really good stuff. This is really good stuff. Put it all together in one package. I'd probably buy it just because I'd be like, "Where's my wallet?" I would buy it in a heartbeat. So anyway, so let's see what else. So there's those five live songs. Then it goes into Stagnation live at the BBC from '71. Good version of that. And in the BBC they used to have to like actually do live recordings. Like it wasn't just like lip syncing the backing track. They actually had to do because of the musicians union or something. They had to do the actual track. So it's a live track from the BBC from '71. Stagnation, which is a great track. So I mean, awesome, love it. Twilight Alehouse is a really cool B-side from March 8th, '73. So early '73. Yeah, Twilight Alehouse is a really cool track. Like, it's one of those where you're like, wow, this is amazing that this is just a B-side. It's one of those. Happy the Man is another cool track. That's another single, A-side single from '72. So, like, from the Foxtrot era. And this was interesting. It's kind of acoustic. It's kind of and it's got the harmonies. It almost has like a CSNY vibe or something, or CSN, a little bit. The Happy the Man, he doesn't go round, round, round. It's a cool track. It's very like an acoustic song, and it kind of, like I said, it kind of reminiscent of like that sort of Laurel Canyon LA scene from like the '69, '70. And then we have a Watcher of the Skies remix from '72, which, okay. This is the only track that's sort of like, a little bit dispensable. But hey, I still like it. Still good. I mean, disc 3 is generally gets the thumbs up. It's a good, solid disc. And then disc 4 is really interesting because it's like basically all the early stuff. It's all songs from like the early era, like early era, like pre Genesis to Revelation era. And then like maybe just after that, like I think that they wrote a lot of songs once they knew they were on Charisma and they knew they were going to make Trespass. I think they really went to work and wrote a lot of songs for that and demoed a lot of stuff for that, because there's a lot of demos on here, and I think the demos are a lot of demos from '69. And I think '68 and '69. '69, I think, is, they were getting ready to do Trespass in '70. So it's like, I think some of these are Trespass demos and some of them are Genesis to Revelation demos. And it's really interesting that they did disc 4, that they put this out there, because it's really almost like, I mean, it's almost like, looking at early pictures of yourself, like you can tell that they're kind of, some of these demos and tracks and stuff, some of these songs, actually some of them look like it's rough mixes from Genesis to Revelation. So like songs that didn't make the album, Genesis to Revelation, like Build Me a Mountain and Image Blown Out. And when they say rough mix means that they recorded it in a studio. So I think that these were like outtakes from Genesis to Revelation. And it's funny. I've been listening to Genesis to Revelation more in recent years, and that's a pretty good record. It's for a bunch of guys. There were a bunch of kids out of school. I mean, they were really young when they made that, and it's interesting because it's pretty strong. If you go back and listen to Genesis to Revelation, now where is my copy? Did I leave it over there? I really want to. Yeah, I left it over there. Just give me a second. Hold on a minute. I'll edit. So here's my Genesis to Revelation. It's on, it's the Decca. I think this is a Decca re-release because they wanted to capitalize once Genesis got bigger. They wanted to put the flower pot Peter Gabriel on the cover so people could make the connection that this is that band, because the first one is just black and it just says Genesis to Revelation, and just I don't think anybody like bought that album when it first came out, so they re-released it with Peter Gabriel as the flower pot, a flower, and showing Genesis on the back, and so the people would like go buy their early album or whatever, which may have worked. I don't know. I bought it, so anyway. I want to get the black version too. Oh, there's the black cover. But anyway, but this album really, I've been listening to it quite a bit lately, and it's like, there's a lot of good songs on there. Where the Sour Turns to Sweet, The Conqueror, In the Wilderness, the Fireside Song. I mean, it's in the beginning. There's a lot of In Hiding is another good one. I mean, there's a lot of great songs on that, and basically some of these are like early versions of that with different titles. Like She Is Beautiful was later The Serpent, turned into The Serpent. Um, and Patricia later became In Hiding. So these are like early songs that ended up changing titles. But it just goes to show you that they were writing a lot in their early time. And what's another thing that's interesting is they never went back to any of these songs. I think what happened, some of these tunes like Hey. I mean, Hey is like, I mean, it's that song is like a pop song. I mean, that's like, it's very like, hey, dee 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 dee, hey, dee dee dee. I mean, it's like it's very different from what they ended up doing on Trespass. Trespass, they switched directions on Trespass and went totally prog, or at least yeah, they wanted to go in a progressive direction, which they went on this album. So I just think by the time they had decided they were going in this direction, all that other stuff just got like shelved. Like, yeah, okay, these are decent songs, but like we're going in a different direction, and we have fresh new material. We're going to go in that direction and do this album. And they just went further and further in that direction. So, but that being said, there are some signposts to the future on this disc. There are signposts on some of the songs when you listen to them, like things like Shepherd and Passity and Let Us Now Make Love, which are Night Ride BBC 1970 recordings. The BBC had a show called Night Ride where they would feature certain bands. And I think Night Ride actually has Anthony Phillips on it. So there's these are like live recordings with Anthony Phillips on it and John Mayhew on drums. I don't think it's John Silvergate. I think it's John Mayhew on drums. So that's like another really fascinating, if you're a fan. Those are 3 songs from that early lineup where Anthony Phillips is still in the band, and so is John Mayhew, and they're doing these tracks. And it's interesting that Shepherd and Passity, I mean, they all sound very Trespass-like. And I wonder if these songs were possible for Trespass. They just didn't make the cut, because that's what they sound like. They sound just like the record, which is great. I mean, it's almost like getting extra Trespass songs. It's really cool. Like Passity and Shepherd especially, I just think sound a lot like something that could easily be on Trespass. So yeah, I mean, these are fascinating because you hear a lot of different textures and you can tell that they're growing as songwriters on this. Like they're working at their craft, they're working at it, and you can see the progression on this disc 4 if you listen to it, and it goes back all the way to '67. So they were kids. They were kids. So it's just crazy how good they were at such a young age. It's pretty amazing actually. So anyway, yeah, great booklet. I mean, I don't want to open this too wide because it's already falling apart. But I mean, just classic photos of them in the classic period. Just awesome, and a lot of good a lot of good essays, and it's got the press release that that Peter Gabriel put out when he left the band. Um, there's a lot of great stuff in here. So this is I'm not going to keep going. This is I think I can wrap it up now and just say hey, I could say hey. No, I definitely think this is essential. I'm just going to leave it at that. Like, if you're a fan and you don't know this or don't have it or don't own it, like, go fix that. Like, fix it today, because it's that good. So there you go, and that's why I was so upset with Volume 2, because this was so good. I mean, this was like awesome. So I was like, oh my God, Volume 2 is going to be just as good or better, or just as it's for the Phil era. It's going to be like awesome, and it was good, but this wasn't as good as this. This is like as far as box sets go, I listen to this a lot, and I don't listen to Volume 2 that much, because it's just not as good. Let's be honest. I mean, it's not just the music thing. It's just the way it's put together, and it's, again, go back and watch my other video if you want my reasons as to why. But anyway, I'm gonna end on a positive note and say this is awesome. This is amazing. The Lamb concert alone is almost worth the price of admission, and then it's got all this extra stuff too. So it's just like that. It's just they hit it out of the park with this. So Genesis Archive 1, gotta get it. Gotta own it. It's awesome. Amazing. I don't know what other adjectives to use. So that's it. That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Made it kind of short and sweet. And let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of this collection. Do you like it as much as I do? Do you think it's great? Or do you think it's just average? What do you think? I think if you're a fan, it's pretty awesome, pretty essential. So that's it. I've got to think of some other stuff to do for the next video. I've got some things in my head, but I wanted to do the Genesis one again, because people were saying, okay, can't wait for Volume 1. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to give it to them right away. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time on Curless Mania. See ya.